The news about ESPN and the firings that are going on there are, quite frankly, not surprising. You know, I don't like to see people lose jobs or anything like that because everybody needs to work. And in particular, the male gender. Um, but what's going on there with Stephen A. Smith coming out saying what he said, which was quite ridiculous what he said on some of the things about his coworkers being fired. Stephen A. Smith has always been a clown to me. When I look at him, sometimes he acts like a crazed cartoon character playing on a show to entertain a certain persuasion of people. And yet then will turn around and disrespect or ridicule another persuasion of people. It's not surprising that he does that because he's being paid by his bosses to do so. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, yes, he really loves to step on black men in particular while praising some of his white counterparts, in particular the white paycheck. I'm going there. And the reason why that is because you don't bite the hand that feeds you. And so what's happening is now the people that have been really feeding Stephen A. Smith have been mainly the black people, whether he knows that, accepts that, or not. However, I'm not one of them. I hardly ever look at ESPN or anything like that. I haven't cared for ESPN for years. Every now and then I click on there just to check out the scores, but listening to them now is just a waste of my time. Now, one of the reasons I'm really saying what I'm saying about all this is because you have a lot of men that were fired. And to not look so racist, they went on and fired a few of the white men also, like Max Kellerman, who, by the way, I don't know what he even brought to the table for anybody's show. When I listen to him, sometimes it was just like, what is he talking about? I really didn't know what that man was doing. And, you know, Keyshawn Johnson, Jalen Rose, and there was Jeff Van Gundy, you know, old white guy, you know, hey, we got to let go a couple of white people so we don't look so racist. Well, here's the thing. Did you notice all these people that I named? They are all men. They are taking the masculine gender out of sports, in particular ESPN. Are you noticing that there are a lot of women on there? I, for one, do not particularly care for women being in men's sports. It is a problem for me for obvious reasons. But I know why they're doing it, because they want to get them on there for gender equality. If they qualified, they qualified. But women have never been needed in men's sports. Notice I said never been needed. Men's sports was already here before women even started interfering with it. They were never needed, never necessary. They were allowed to come in because, one, they were, first of all, pretty, okay? I grew up seeing that stuff, so I know what I'm talking about. They were attractive. And the first ones they put on there were white women. So eventually they started getting colorization in that thing and started allowing black women to get in there. But here's the thing. Now they've gone overboard with these things. Now, am I saying that women are not talented? I'm not saying it at all. One of my biggest fans, one of the biggest people that I'm a fan of, let me say it that way, is Mina Kimes. That woman knows what she's talking about. I like Doris Burks, even though she's getting a little older. Doris, you need to put your glasses back on, baby girl. You're very attractive with your glasses on. Keep them on. However, are you, ESPN, going to replace those men that you fired with other men? Or are you going to go down the trend that I'm seeing with you? You're going to go down that feminist road. And eventually, if you go down that feminist road, you're going to allow other things to come in. Be careful what you're doing, because eventually you will fire Stephen A. Smith. It's only a matter of time. You know, it won't be a surprise if he does get fired. However, you also, ESPN, will fold also. Eventually, you will crash and burn. Your ratings are terrible now. Everybody now can go and find sports somewhere else. They don't need you like they used to. They can make their own shows now, and that's what people are doing. So now, ESPN, you've been warned. You better start replacing sports for men with men and leave that feminist agenda alone, because that's not going to work. And if you keep going down that road, you're going to allow something else to come in, and men are not going to tolerate that. And eventually you will fold also. This is Chaz with Golden Butter Sports, letting that butter spread.